In an alternate timeline, where Azimuth and Vilgax are friends, maintain peace among their species as well the universe. However, Vilgax wishes to conquer this universe and exterminate all other alien species except his. When Azimuth got a clue about Vilgax's unwanted plans, he injected poison in each sample of DNA collected by Vilgax. After using the DNA on himself, Vilgax discovers this truth as the alien powers began to cause physical damage to Vilgax, and when the alien used their abilities, it intensified the pain even further. However, upon discovering this, Vilgax kills Azimuth and starts work on his own omniverse. However, for extinction of each species, he uses Azimuth's flesh as a metal framework for his omniverse, as well as components from other omniverses. The result comes out to be a living organism which he named the BloodTrix. This watch needed a host to survive. It also carried some of its side effects, such as the host will become thinner and weak, causing him to get more aggressive, making them depend on the BloodTrix to survive their power fatigue. With human population at peak, Earth was full of life which was full of hosts as well. Vilgax prepared to send his BloodTrix on Earth. As he was preparing BloodTrix pod towards Earth, he heard some strange noises, similar to moan and pain-driven screams, coming from the BloodTrix, as the dead aliens inside the BloodTrix were full of consciousness. Instead of dial, an eye appeared on the watch, which even scared Vilgax. Shortly after this disturbing encounter, Vilgax finished assembling the capsule. Extremely tired, he went to sleep. However, as he was in a deep state of mind without consciousness, a strange figure emerged from the BloodTrix. However, the figure was not made with any known organ or flesh, but rather a form emptiness. Scared Vilgax couldn't abandon BloodTrix. The BloodTrix was sent to Earth. On Earth, during his summer vacations, Ben in the jungle was roaming in anger. A meteor crashes close to where he is. Quickly, Ben runs towards the impact site and came across a flesh capsule. A meteor crashes close to where he is. Quickly, Ben runs towards the impact site and came across a flesh capsule. Soon, a watch covered in blood is spotted. Ben comes closer to it, and as Ben tried to take off this watch, a strange light in it, and a hole, an eye coming out of it. When he clicked the eye representing dial, a sudden and extreme pain with fire and flames on him. It was like the hellfire for a 10-year-old. He screamed, but no one came. He fell on the ground due to the pain caused him due to instant regeneration and burning of flesh in a cyclic process. Ben started a search for a nearby lake to extinguish the fire upon him. But instead he found a camp full of people. Ben approached the camp with a thirst for blood, while some people were around a campfire. One of them noticed something strange in the forest, the exhaling smoke that covered the entire area. And when they least expected it, the entire forest around the camp was on fire due to the flames caused by Ben. As Ben tried to think of how to get out of there without being discovered, someone noticed the reflection of light in his eyes, catching his attention. Then, quickly, Ben ran back into the forest, but this time with several police officers chasing him. Ben wouldn't be able to escape for long, so he thought of something risky. Ben hit the dial of BloodTrix and suddenly began to feel his entire body deform. The police stopped to see it and were very scared by what they were seeing. When reinforcements arrived in the area, they only found blood and deformed dead bodies. Ben had already run away a long time ago, so they began the search for the capture of a boy with a supposedly neat watch on his left wrist. Hours had passed, and Ben had already arrived in the nearest town in search of his grandfather and cousin. However, Ben was exhausted from everything he had been through, so he stopped to rest for a bit. Suddenly, a building nearby, full of people, caught fire. Ben thought this might be a good moment to use the watch for something positive. Ben accidentally transformed into XLR-8 and sped towards the building to try to help the people inside. However, when he got there, he only found people who had been burned to death. Ben then discovered two children hiding in a closet. They were scared by what they saw.
"Mummy, is that you?"
One of the children asked. When Ben tried to open the closet, despite not having arms, the temptation of the BloodTrix began to take over him. Before being completely overtaken, he broke the closet open and, using his mouth, grabbed the shirts of the two children. He managed to jump out of the window, carrying the children to safety next to their mother. The children ran to their mother, and when she turned to thank Ben, he had already fled to avoid succumbing to the blood temptation. As Ben ran as far away as possible to avoid hurting anyone, he came across a boy attacking a drug dealer. Ben quickly intervened to stop the situation.
Hey you!
Ben called out. "Who are you?" the other boy asked, irritated by Ben's interference. Ben was scared and speechless, but then the other boy extended his hand to Ben.
"Are you okay?"
he asked.
I'm fine.
Ben replied, though he was starting to look frail. The other boy didn't believe him.
"I can help you if you need,"
he said. Ben thanked him and asked,
Who are you anyway?
"I'm Kevin."
I'm Ben.
"What is this on your wrist, kid?"
Oh, this here is a watch that turns me into aliens.
"Are you crazy? I have powers too."
This gets Kevin quite excited, and he says he also has special abilities. But unlike Ben, he cannot transform or store anything he touches, but maybe are not the same.
Well, agree soon after. Actually, why were you hitting a person?
In defense, Kevin says,
"He wasn't a good person. This crazy guy sold drugs to the homeless. That I took care of."
Ben's watch starts to beep, leaving Kevin scared. Ben asks Kevin to move away. Kevin runs to get help, but without any success, and when he arrives, Kevin comes across a quite terrifying creature, scared and fascinated at the same time. He asked why Ben had eaten people. Ben said the watch ordered him to do that. So he asks if Ben was going to try to devour him too, but Ben says the watch isn't ordering him to devour Kevin. Now Kevin is curious to know how Ben can know if the watch orders him or not to do this. Ben says,
The watch talks to me.
"Seriously, man, this watch is alive." "Gross. But it's better we get out of here. People can see you in this form and can call the police."
The BloodTrix transforms Ben into a monstrous, deformed alien. Uncontrollable, Ben attacks Kevin.
"I won't try to kill him. He might still be in there. I can't take another hit from that creature. Or else I'll die."
While Kevin tried to dodge and defend himself from all the blows of that monster, he seemed to be starting to get tired. The same was happening to Ben, who was almost limp during the battle. Then Ben transforms back, getting even weaker than he already is, and Kevin, extremely tired from the battle, falls to the ground and faints. After this confrontation, Ben wakes up disoriented, not knowing what had happened, until he sees Kevin lying on the ground and remembers he was fighting with him, but against his will. Ben tries to wake Kevin up. Unfortunately, he succeeds. However, Ben falls to the ground again and faints.
Damn, what happened to him? He looks like a corpse.
While Kevin walked with Ben on his back, looking for a place for both of them to stay,